Yes, you heard it from here. Today we are reorganizing my bookshelves, and this is all decided by you guys who voted for it on my Instagram. Now I gave you all a ton of options, some of which I'm really happy that got the majority of the vote, and some that I'm kind of sad about because I have my own preferences. But I just thought this would be a really fun challenge because my bookshelves have been a complete mess for like over the past few months. There is no system, there's just books shoved together. So let's just get into it. So this is currently the state of my shelves. Here I tried to kind of organise it by like fantasy and like Sandra Clare books. And this is supposed to be my TBR bookshelf, but I actually have way more than this and there are a lot underneath my bed, so I need to get rid of some of them. And then on this end, it's very, very random. I've got like a random colour coordinated contemporary shelf, kind of like another YA fantasy shelf, a random classic of Wuthering Heights, and the next one is like completely like trying to be colour coordinated, didn't really work out. I've got some romances, some fantasy, and just a random non-fiction, so we need to organise that. And then here are some books which I have either received recently in the post from publishers, some books that I've recently been filming with and I couldn't be bothered putting away, and in general just some new books that I bought for myself, even though I'm supposed to be on a book ban. So first thing I'm going to do is actually take everything down, look at everything and see which books I want to unhaul. Yeah, because the first question I asked, I'll pop on screen, should I organise my shelves alphabetically or colour coordinated? And it was very close, it was like 51% and 49%. But alphabetically won, and that is like really crazy to me. I've always colour coordinated my shelves, but maybe it's time for me to move on from that era. And who knows, maybe if I do order it in alphabetical order, I actually know what sort of books I own. So let's get into me actually dismantling this bookshelf. I decided to leave my TBR shelf as it is for now because I'm going to be doing something else with my TBR, and I just want to like know that these are the books that should be unread, and I don't really want them to be organised alphabetically just yet, just so I can have an idea of the books I want to unhaul and how to organise them in genres and things like that. So up here we have my Sandra Clare collection. I really like her books. I think they really like the first books that got me into fantasy, and I really like how she has her own shelf. So I might kind of keep this the way it is, but like organise it alphabetically. And then here we have all of my fantasy books and a random odd thriller. I also had some candles on my shelf. And guys, this is your sign to actually dust and clean your shelves. Because, oh, look at that. That is just not cute. That is not giving aesthetics. That is giving old, crusty Dracula bookshelves. So I have a few candles here and there. And I actually asked on Instagram what you all would like to see my bookshelf to be completely bare, trinkets and candles, only a few. And luckily for me, you all voted yes to trinket and candle. I put the poll up here. That's made me really happy because I am such a trinket girl at heart. And I just really love how I have like bookish candles related to like different genres and things. Here we also have some fantasy, you can all look me that stainers, and my Six of Crows special editions. So I'm going to organise them into piles of yes and no. Probably only keeping most of these, to be honest, because fantasy's not my favourite genre. Probably unhaul a few, assess the situation, take down books from my other bookshelf, and then sort into an alphabetical order. So I'm just going to put everything on my bed. I'm going to sort everything into a yes, I'm keeping, a maybe pile, and a no pile. It's really hard for me to say no and unhaul books, purely because I would love to have my own personal library, which is 1,000 books, I believe. So like to me, unhauling books means I'm like just a bit further away from that goal of getting my personal library. But then again, I'd rather have books on my shelf I absolutely really like, so just gotta be a bit strict with myself. First up, we have this Invisible Life Addie LaRue copy, and at the time I really liked it, and then I changed my mind and really hated it. But regardless, I don't think I can really give it away because I've actually annotated in here, and I'm actually debating whether to give this copy away, but then I kind of don't want to because it was a big part of my Bookstagram era and journey. Even though I have very mixed feelings about it now, I think it was just cool because it's like one of the first times I really annotated a book, and plus it's signed, so I also have that, and it's a very special edition copy. So this could be like a relic in the future, so maybe I should keep this. Next is We Hunt the Flame. Absolutely yes. I realise I only have We Hunt the Flame and I don't have the next books, which is like We Free the Stars. So even though technically I'm on a book ban after my last massive book haul video, if you've not seen it, I'll insert it here. I kind of want to like, finish the collection and have the whole series, so I'll need to be buying the hardback of the next book soon. Spin the Dawn, another book I absolutely love. I actually don't have the second book. I don't like the second book just as much, but might as well own it. So that's also giving me ideas to buy some books. Also, We Have Thorns, yes, absolutely. This is such an iconic book. I feel like this is like romantasy when like genre was first starting to emerge. Yeah, I have to keep this one. Ninth House by Lee Bardugo. I'm absolutely keeping this. It's actually signed. I really enjoyed this book. I don't think I've read the next in the series, but I need to because I really like this one. Turn of the Key is like a thriller, and I kind of want to say maybe, only because like I'm not a big thriller lover, even though I do want to get into the genre. But this is also a Waterstone special edition, and it's signed, so maybe. But I'm leaning towards yes. This is the maybe pile. A Conspiracy of Bones. I also got sent this by a publisher, and it's a really stunning hardback edition. As I've mentioned, I'm not a huge thriller lover, but I do want to like eventually get out of my comfort zone and read more thrillers, so I'm going to be holding on to this one. The Silvered Serpents. This is a sequel to the Gilded Wolves, and yes, I'm keeping this. This is like one of my favourite YA fantasy series. Okay, I've not even read this book. I've had it for years. I'm like, am I ever going to read it? But then it's also like, it's a thriller, and I'm wanting to get into them. So like, should I keep it? Okay, I think I'm going to keep this. I've read the blurb. It sounds interesting. And I'm just going to try it. If I've not read it within the next year or so, and I've not reached out for it, then I'll probably unhaul it. But I want to keep on to it just for now. I have Onyx Storm, which I'm keeping. I actually don't own the first two books, Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I have mixed feelings about the series. I have mixed feelings about Rebecca Yarros, but I feel like I still want to continue reading it to see if it improves and to see if she improves as an author, but I'll be keeping on to this. This is part of my Cassandra Clare collection, so it's going to go right here because I'm keeping it. Kingdom of Souls, I'm keeping it. I'm pretty sure this is like my book club pick when I started it up in 2020, so I'm going to keep on to it. I use like speech bubble post-it notes to annotate, which is so cute, so maybe I should get back into that, but yeah, keeping this one. I decided I'm going to put this one in the no pile. I'm not a Sarah J Maas stan. I got given this, and it was a lovely gift, but I'm just not interested in the series, and I'd rather just donate it, to be honest. I don't know if anyone's actually talked about this book. I think it was like maybe part of like Fairy Loot or even Owl Crate when it first came out, but it's called Where Dreams Descend, and it's by a Filipino-American author, and I just think we need to have more representation of authors of colour in the industry, and I actually really enjoyed this book. I'm not sure if it was a duology. I don't even remember reading the second book, so maybe I need to look into actually find the second book for this, but I'm definitely keeping this. I remember really liking it. Finally, we have My Babies, the Six of Crows special editions. Kind of got a bit crusty. I don't really know why there's a bit of dirt on them. It's just been on my shelf collecting dust. I'm keeping these. The next thing I'm going to do is reorganise my bookshelf on that side, and I have more fantasy books, so I'm going to be putting it all together and organising it alphabetically and also by genre. Guys, this is a shelf I've actually been dreading because every time I pick up a book from the shelf, books fall down. I've been whacked in the face numerous times by books. I also have some very ancient artifacts of books, such as the Joe Sugg books, the Zoe Sugg books, so yeah, this is going to be very interesting. My room is actually a tip. I am so overwhelmed by these books. And like, you know when you have those like urges to clean your room in the middle of the night and then you actually take all the stuff out and then you actually regret it? This is how I'm feeling right now, but this needs to be done. So let's go through these piles and sort them into the yes pile, the maybe, and the no pile. First up, we have Queenie. Yes, I always recommend this book. I love it so much, so this is the yes. Skin, I've just received this by a publisher. Absolutely love this author, and I know it'll be a really interesting read. I've not read it yet, but I'm excited to read it. Next we have A Quiet Kind of Thunder. I don't even think I finished this book because I have a random sticker as a bookmark. I must have just gotten a bit in a slump, but I did remember liking this. Yeah, and it has British Sign Language and starts. How cool is that? This is a yes. I low-key really want to say no, but I feel like GCSE Maddie, yeah, she can't really give up on this book. If you're not familiar with the UK system, you have to annotate books and talk about them in your English exams, and Lord of the Flies is one of them, and I really did not like the book, but I annotated it. It's part of my era of reading, so we'll keep it. Good Girl Guide to Murder, absolutely yes, this is such an iconic book. Daisy Jones and the Six, yes. The Medusa Project by Sophie Mackenzie. Now, this was a core part of my books that I loved growing up. I think there's 6 in a set, and if you loved X-Men and Marvel growing up, then you'd absolutely love this. It's kind of talking about these teenagers who've been implanted with, like, psychic abilities. There's more hype. I feel like this could be a book top book. So I'm definitely keeping these. I remember, like, before I had, adult money and things like that, I would just reread these books constantly because I couldn't afford to buy any books, and yeah. It's such a place in my heart. The Hunger Games, yes, of course I'm keeping these. Do Justice, yes, highly recommend if you want to read more about being a Black American and also talk about the justice system. Little Fires Everywhere, yes, also would really recommend the TV show. Another The Medusa Project, another Hunger Games. Outside of Unrequited, I'm probably going to say no. I read this once, I don't think it was that memorable, so that's going to be in the donate pile. Love and Gelato, I actually really enjoyed this book. I've reread it a few times, and it's just a really cute YA sort of romance book, so I'm going to keep this. Okay, now this is where the hard decisions are to be made. Girl Online by Zoella. Every British girl, we all had a Zoella era, and I was obsessed with her. I bought all her merch, bought all her books, but I also know I'm never going to reread this book, and I'm just a bit conflicted. I mean, I did really love it. I thought it was, like, so cute, and I definitely reread it. So, like, do I keep it for nostalgia? This is, like, really hard. This is going to go in the maybe pile. The Authenticity Project, 6 Strangers, One Green Notebook, The Chance to Stop Being Honest. I honestly don't really remember liking this book that much, so this is going to go in the no pile. Sophie Mackenzie, Brooklyn, did not actually like this book, but I still did, so I'm going to keep this. Juice of Outwitch, yes, keeping this, really powerful read. I've gotten cut off whilst I was explaining which books I'm going to keep and which I'm not going to keep, but moving on, I basically sorted out all the books. This is the big yes pile, this is the maybe, and this is the no. So far, I'm getting rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books. So I think that's kind of decent. I mean, I knew I wasn't going to get rid of loads, so there's that. So I'm going to order these by genre and in alphabetical order. I also asked on my Instagram if I should put my book spines out or with, like, some of the pages facing this way, because I think that looks aesthetic, but everyone said spines out, which is good because I'm very forgetful of which books I own. So let's get into it. I'm thinking this side will be the fantasy shelf, the TBR shelf will be moving somewhere else, and then this will be like my YA contemporary sort of shelf. Okay, so it is now the next day, purely because my back was hurting, that shelf was taking too long, it was turning into night, and I hadn't read a book, but all I've been doing was stacking shelves. So the next shelf underneath is going to be my romance and contemporary books. I've already kind of organised them alphabetically, so I've got No Ordinary Love, Singular Life of Arya Patel, and then we've got some romances, got a random Daisy Jones and the Six, I don't know where to put that one. And then I've got my Elsie Silver series, KL Walter books, which are like YA rom-com books. And then I've got Love and Gelato, Bing Super 2, if you haven't read this book, highly recommend. And then my Hannah Bonham Young books. So that's all going to go in that shelf. I feel like when I eventually buy all the books I'm missing from series, so like I don't have all of the Poppy War series in hardback, I haven't put my Anne and the Ashes Quartet series up because I'm still reading it. But once those are up, I'll probably move the romance shelf onto the next wall, just because I kind of want it to be cohesive, like the fantasy area and the romance area, if you get what I mean. Anyway, moving on to the next section of books. Graveyard book, yes, I really like it for a spooky autumnal read, and I featured this a lot during autumn time on my socials, so that's a yes. Sophie Mackenzie book, yes. The Colour Purple, yes. Really love this book. Dark Shade of Magic, yes. Good fantasy. Werewolf Guide to Seducing a Vampire. I don't know if I want to reread this, but it's also pink, and I don't have many pink books, and it was quite cozy, so I want to go for a yes. It's Feminists Don't Wear Pink and Other Lies. I'm not gonna lie, I think I also bought this during my Zoella obsession. She wrote a section in there. I'm gonna put this in the maybe pile. I don't own many non-fiction books. It's something I want to change, and I do remember really enjoying this when I read it. It was very much an introduction to feminism non-fiction books, but the maybe pile. Okay, this whole pile is a yes. Agatha Christie, yes. Starfish, yes. I'll Be the One, yes. Emily Wilde's Queen of Fairies, yes. And Caraval, yes. All the Boys I've Loved Before, yes. Really like this book, so cozy, and it's so like comforting to me. These next 3 books, I'll be honest, I'm gonna give them away. It was also Zoella had such a big influence on me. It was like her friend who wrote these like Potion Diaries books, and they were like witches and very magical, and it's like middle grade, I'd say. I did really like it at the time, but I'm not going to reread it, and I do think that I don't really feel the need to keep them, so that's going to go in the no. These are ones I don't know what to do, because I'm pretty sure I got these as birthday gifts, and I think one of them might be signed. It's this one, and I don't know. I feel like a signed book is pretty cool. I also feel like I'm never going to really reread these again. I want to put it in the maybe pile. I'm not too sure about them, but I'll hold on to them. And the same goes for the other Zoella books. I just don't know what to do, because Hunger Games, yes. I just don't know what to do, because I know that like I'm not really going to feature them on my socials anymore, but I did really like them at the time, and I feel like they're signed, which is really cool. But then it's also like, what am I actually going to do with these books if I keep them? So this is going to go in the maybe pile. And if I've not decided by the end of this video what I'm going to be doing with these books, be sure to follow me on my Instagram, because I'll probably be asking you what you think, if I should unhold these books or not, and basically let you all make decisions for an indecisive person. Secret Garden, yes, keeping this. It's a really good book. Some of Broken Rules, yes. Bone Houses, yes. More people need to talk about this book. It has really great representation, and I remember it being really unique as I was reading it, and very much like gothic, so perfect for autumn. So if you've not read this book, I'd recommend. The Elemental Power. This is a book by an indie author, and she sent it to me, and I really liked it, and I'm going to be keeping this. No Ordinary Love, I just got sent this, I'm going to be keeping this. It's a romance. Out on a Limb, yes. Circe, yes. I really like this book. Queen of Nothing, Wicked King, and The Cruel Prince. This is a definite yes. I really like this series. We have my original edition of Crooked Kingdom. I've decided for this bottom shelf right here, it's going to be the Cassandra Clare shelf, purely because I feel like I know what I'm doing with that shelf, and then we'll see what other miscellaneous books I have for the rest of the shelf. Got a bit of empty space on this shelf. There is one hardback which I'm currently reading by her, so that will take up some space. Thinking, because everyone voted for Candles and Trinkets, I want to put this one called Iterate, which is actually do Shadowhunters in the Shadowhunter world. A bit dusty. This is your sign to actually dust your candles. I think it goes with the vibe, and it's very cute. And it's pink, so like my room's very pink, so this is definitely really cute on the shelf. And then I'm just going to add this like bookish jar I have next to it, because one, space, and two, it's cute. So these are basically like origami stars, and when you open them up it has like bookish quotes. So this one says whatever that says there, so I think that's quite cute. I mainly use it for like decoration and props for my photos, so I just think it would be a cute little addition on that shelf. Guys, I genuinely can't believe this is all I have left. We've come such a long way, and this is all I have left of books I've read, but my TBR I've kept separately. But we're basically on the last 2 shelves, and I think I'm definitely going to have some extra space, which is like a good thing, but also makes me want to buy more books, of course. So this is all a bit miscellaneous, so I have like Lit Fix, like The Colour Purple, Brooklyn, Tattoo of Auschwitz, and then Perks Being a Wolf by Auschwitz. This is a very random shelf. I'm going to try and organise it by genre, if possible. Okay, so I've tried to arrange it alphabetically, and the genre bit kind of failed because I don't have enough of each genre. So First I started off like dystopian, and then I was going to put Hunger Games next to it. But then I realised I'm missing some of these books. So we have dystopian, YA contemporary, Agatha Christie, Hunger Games, and then like middle grade-ish book, Lord of Flies, historical book, and then thriller, historical fiction, YA, contemporary book, middle grade book, contemporary book, thriller, dark academia, contemporary YA book, litfic, and litfic. So it kind of has some sort of organisation, but we'll see how this fits my shelf. So you may have noticed I actually have swapped these shelves around. I realised as much as I knew what I was doing with the Cassandra Clare shelf, I don't really need her books when I'm doing Bookstagram and BookTok content. These are the books I reach for a lot, so I switched them around. And then not all the books I had arranged could fit on the shelf, so the top shelf will probably be a bit miscellaneous, but still cute. And then I decided to put a candle here, not for aesthetic purposes, but just because as much as I love how I have these nice white brackets, I think they kind of get in the way, and I tried putting a book there, and I was just scared it was just going to keep falling over. So the candle is there for aesthetic, but also for functional purposes. Pretty happy the way it looks. It's not colour-coded, which is the way I usually have. I think it looks quite cool. Even though I was in two minds of keeping my Zoella and Joe Silk books, I realised I kind of have space to keep them for now, and I also could not be bothered dealing with the whole vintage, put my books up for sale sort of thing, so I left them there. I know everyone voted for Spines Out, but like, I'm not embarrassed by Zoella past votes. I don't really want those books on display, so I might just turn the spines round and then decorate with some trinkets of whatever I can find in my room. Okay, final touches. I'm low-key very scared that top shelf, the last book, is going to fall, so I squeeze as much books as I can on that shelf, but I may have to rejig things. So there's no trinkets on that shelf. On this shelf, I've just decided to display this lovely Jane Eyre classic book I have because I really like it. And then on this shelf, I decided to put my marshmallow jelly cats, and I do kind of want to get some more trinkets for this side. I'm not really sure what to get. More jelly cats, candles, let me know. And then if I take you over to the side, so as we know, I have a candle here. I have a candle here and some like bookish like star quotes thing here. And in the very top shelf, I have this like fake Jellycat dupe from Primark, which is a like a pine cone, but I know it's kind of like autumnal, but I just still think it's cute. And I actually have like a really cute crochet kitten that I bought from like a local Etsy shop, and it is a bit random. That whole shelf is very random, but I mean, and there's still space to put some more trinkets and even more books once I eventually finish some of my physical TBR. So things will be rejigged, but if you have any ideas what I could put on my shelves to make it look even cuter, let me know. I feel like I am lacking in the trinket area, which is crazy for me because I am such a collector, but I didn't want to like remove actual decor from my room and put it on my shelves because I like the way it is in my room right now. But now we're on to the very exciting bit, which is my TBR cart. I'm so excited. I've actually already built my TBR cart, so I'll insert the clip here, which is for my TikTok. And I'm just really excited that you all voted for this because it's been something I've been wanting for so long. Let's stack it together. This is the TBR cart in all of its glory. I love how pink it is, and honestly I'm very proud of myself building this. Women in STEM and all that, even though at one point I actually did screw this one upside down, but we moved. So I have all of my unread books here that are my physical TBR. I'm not sure how I'm going to organise this, it's just by genre. The intention is that I'm going to put this in like a random wheel generator, and then whichever one it picks, I'll read that book. Just so I actually have like less decisions to make and actually pick up the books I own. So that's why I'm thinking, I'm not sure if it really matters to be in genre, but maybe I'll do it just so it makes sense in my head. So I'm thinking the bottom shelf shall be romance. So let's put these books here. got Before I Let Go, and then it's Sequel, This Could Be Us. Recently bought this new book, which is a new release. I'm very excited to read this one. It's like a historical fiction romance. I don't think I actually have more romances, so then I'm probably going to do maybe like translated fiction, because I bought a lot of translated fiction thinking I'm going to read them because it's my goal. And I bought loads of cat Japanese ones because I love cats and I love like Japanese cozy literature. So I've just not read any of them yet, so I definitely need to make sure I do sometime soon. This is not a cozy book. This is actually a horror thriller book, and it's very scary, and I got influenced by another booktuber called Chloe Bunny, and I absolutely love her content, and she influenced me. But I'm not really a horror person, but I feel like I need to read this because I've seen it hyped up quite a lot. Then I'm going to put the random ones. So I have this, which a friend donated to me to read. I still haven't read it yet, so there's that. This one, which I bought from Waterstones on a whim, the buy one get one half price. Honestly, not really heard about it. I think it's like a historical fiction, but it sounds interesting. And then this one, which I got from a lucky dip, which is from the bookstore Rare Birds Books in Edinburgh. Highly recommend you all go there if you're in the area. It's just so cool. All women-owned books in there, so that's going to go there. This is a bit random as well. Very sad about how a child accidentally scribbled on my book. It's fine. And this is a non-fiction book about introverts, which I thought was quite cool, so still not read that one. And the next book I'm going to put is this one, A Long Walk from Gaza. I'm going to go here because I don't really have many books like it, so it will just go on the miscellaneous shelf. The next one, let's do these fantasy books. She got gifted these books way back in 2021, and I've not read them yet, and I feel bad, and I know they're going to be great books. So that's some fantasy, and I'm very excited to read this. And it's like a Arabian fantasy book, I believe. I think it looks really interesting. I've got Blood Marks. I've still not read the sequel to Legendborn. I've got these two, which have been on my TBR for forever. I think I've owned these books for years, but I need to read them soon. This one, which is The Balloon Thief. I've recently just discovered this in a bookshop, and I was just in awe of one, the cover, and also the author is Mancunian. And if you guys didn't know, I'm from Manchester, very proud northerner, so of course I had to support. And then we've got The Final Strife, and then I have Our Violet Ends, another sequel which I've not read. And then the top shelf, let's just put the rest of these books. So I've got unread books from the Ember Quartet series, Candle in the Flame. I started reading this like a few months ago, then I just kind of forgot about it, so I definitely need to finish this. Shadow of the Wind, another translated book. I would have put this here, but I don't know if it fits. Does it fit? Okay, we'll put it on the top shelf. Rewitched, which I'm saving for autumn time. The Cassandra Clare book I was talking about before. I have this book called We Are Not Numbers, and I'm still reading Babel. If you follow me on my socials, you know I started this probably back in March, and then I found it really hard to get into, and not because of the plot. The writing is incredibly small. I felt like I wasn't really in the mood to read it, but I do want to finish it because I know I love Laura Kwang's writing, so that's going to be here. And I'm in the middle of this. I don't know why I do this thing when I get bored of a book or a new release catches my eye, I'll just forget about the one I'm currently reading. So this is an arc that's been sent to me. I do want to read it before it comes out this September. And then finally we have this book. I'm pretty sure I've read this, but I do want to reread it just to annotate this. So we'll put this on the shelf. Well, but yeah, that is the finished TBR cart. Should we get her a spin? Whoop whoop. I'm very excited. She's pink, she's beautiful in all her glory, and I do think this is just going to really excite me to read my physical TBR. So these are the shelves in all its glory, and then I've built my TBR cart here, and then these are the books I want to donate. Before of the picture, didn't take any videos, but I mean, looking cute, it was okay. This was an absolute tip. There was just books falling down everywhere. And then the after, it's nice and alphabetically organised. It's low-key a little bit colour coordinated, and it's sorted by genres, and I just think it looks much more neater and much more aesthetically pleasing to look at. So thank you all for watching this video and for tuning in. I feel like it's been so chaotic. And if you've made it this far, let me know which trinkets you would add to your shelves, and also comment the most miscellaneous emoji you use, because I feel like that's a word I've repeated a lot in this video. Thank you all for watching, I appreciate you, and I'll see you all in the next video.